I've been having some coolant issues with my car lately. I'm going to go ahead and do a coolant drain and refill and an actual flush, a chemical flush, to get the system cleaned out. The flush solution that I'm going to use is Irontite's Thoro-Flush. Supposedly this is a pretty good product. It's got really good reviews and it's pretty heavy duty. So this cleaning solution can do a vehicle that is up to 6-gallon coolant. Mine is 1.4 gallons after doing the math, so mine will be fine, but this can treat up to a 6-gallon system. So you're going to want to pre-mix 1 bottle of this, which is powder, into 1 gallon of warm water. So you're going to mix up 1 gallon of this product. And then you're going to want to drain out 1 gallon of your coolant, not the entire coolant that you have. And then once I have that drained out, if you have an older vehicle where the radiator has a cap, you can put that right into there. Mine doesn't, mine's newer. So mine just has the cap on the overflow or the fill reservoir. So I'm going to dump it right into there, the gallon that I mix up of this. And then you're going to go and start your car, put the heater on high, and run it for 10 to 12 minutes after it reaches the operating temperature. So mine's about 220. I'm going to have to double check that, but you're going to want the car to run for 10 to 12 minutes after it reaches that operating temperature, not 10 minutes total. Once it's at 10 minutes of operating temperature, turn the car off, and then we'll drain the entire system. And I'm going to flush it out with water and do a thorough flush and hopefully clean out some of that gunk, or hopefully clean out all of the gunk.
Use a wide and shallow container to catch the draining coolant, and you can go ahead and measure and mark out a gallon to make it easier to know when to stop draining.
So let the car cool down. I'm going to go ahead and take off the reservoir cap and release any pressure that might have built up. So I'm using this rag just in case anything bubbles out. I don't want to spray out, but it should be nice and cool, which it is. Let the pressure out, which there was none. And I'm going to go ahead and screw it all the way back on because I'm going to let out a gallon, and to start, I don't want the coolant gushing out uncontrollably. So I'm going to tighten that back up just to help out. So my car is a Chevy Cruze. There is a plastic sheet or sheathing, underneath. I have removed it on the passenger side. You can see this plug right there. You're going to want to loosen that up, and then coolant is going to start to drain from there. If you want the coolant to come out quicker, you're going to have to go back up to the top, the reservoir, and loosen that cap. That'll cause it to gush out more. So I've gone ahead and loosened up that plug, and now it's dripping out pretty controllably. I'm going to wait till I have a gallon, and then I'll close it off and then dump in the mixture that I made. So about a gallon of coolant was drained out, so I have the plug tightened back up, and I'm going to go ahead and add the Irontite mixture to my coolant system. I'm going to put it in the overflow reservoir because I do not have a radiator cap on my vehicle. I have seen others put this solution into the upper hose here, but I'm not going to do that because I'm just going to follow the directions exactly as they say on the Irontite bottle. So now I'm waiting for the car to get up to operating temperature. Then I will set a timer for 10 minutes. I checked the operating temperature for a Chevy Cruze 1.8 liter is anywhere from 190 to 225. And you also want to have the heat on full blast. Once it reaches operating temperature and then you have it at that for 10 minutes, you're going to want to go ahead and shut the car off and then flush the system out. Here's a look of the gunk that came out of my cooling system. This is just from draining that Loctite cleaning solution. So you can see as I shake it around, you can see shimmers in there, which is that stop leak stuff. And then as I wiggle this back and forth below, you can see all of the dirt and the grime that was stuck in my cooling system. So this is just from draining this out. The next step you'll want to do is flush the system with water. So you can do one of two things. You can either do a heavy-duty back flush, or one of those systems where you really clean it with water, or you can just flush the system with water so that there's no more of this cleaning solution in there. If you do the easy route, the next step is going to be just putting water through the system, the same way that you would add this or coolant. You just want to keep adding it until the water runs clear. You don't want any of this in there. And after that, you can close it up and then put in the coolant as the specs call for your car. Obviously GM, you'd want to put Dex coolant in there. But if you want to clean it out more, now would be the time to do a back flush of water or one of those systems. After you run the flush and you let your car cool back down, you're going to want to get all that flush chemicals out of the tank. So you're going to do the same thing you did the first part, and you're going to put your bucket down there, open up that drain plug, and then you can open up the reservoir cap to let that gurgle out faster. Personally, I'm flushing this cleaning solution out with a hose. I think it's a little bit easier. Plus, I don't have any distilled water with me. Technically, you should be using distilled water. It doesn't have any chemicals or any minerals in it, and you don't want that in your system, but I don't have any right now. So you're going to want to clean your system out or flush it with water until the water is running clear. So you can see down there I have the plug open and it is clear. So I should be good to go to empty this out and then add my normal coolant mix. After you tighten back up that plug at the bottom, you can go ahead and add your coolant mix, the final step, and then you'll need to burp the system too. But you can either just drive around and add it as you go, or you can open up this plug right here. You'll want to open it. You'll want to close that, open this until coolant starts to come out, and you can shut it again, and that releases the air that's in the system.